JCPS school bus drivers calling off the job this morning, canceling dozens of routes, both for the morning pickup and tonight as kids are heading home from school. It's our top story right here at 5. I'm Shay McAllister.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. 25% of the district's drivers choosing not to drive those buses today. Parents and students were left scrambling. WHAS11's Ian Hardwitt has a reaction from JCPS and a former school bus driver.
I looked at my boss and said, "Here's the keys, I'm done, I'm not coming back."
Jamie Wade quit her job as a JCPS bus driver last year. Monday, she keeps her 5 kids home to support her former co-workers calling out. Wade still keeps up with a few drivers and says correcting student behavior would ease complaints.
That would be, in my opinion, would be a step in the right direction to show the drivers that, hey, we hear you. Hey, we see you.
With 143 drivers calling out on Monday, that's up from the 92 who called out on Friday. The bus drivers union says they don't have anything to do with organizing these call-outs, but JCPS officials have shared they are working with the drivers union in order to improve working conditions.
Carolyn Callahan, a district spokesperson, says JCPS is struggling with so many drivers out.
75% of our drivers, more than 400 of them, are at work today. They are doing what's best for kids and safely transporting our kids to and from school today, and we so appreciate them. Bus drivers have been the heroes of this entire thing. They have been working extremely hard all school year, as they do every school year.
Monday's cancellations left over 100 routes without drivers. Callahan also says it's the first time the district has canceled routes this year.
Some people are saying, why couldn't you just tell us last night all of the routes that were going to be canceled? There was absolutely no way to do that, because when you don't know which bus driver is calling out, you don't know which route to cancel.
Callahan reiterated her support for the district's drivers. A majority of them showed up for work Monday. In a student letter shared with our digital producer, CJ Daniels, a young bus rider writes to their driver. It reads, "On the behalf of me, my mom, and the parents and guardians of all the kids you pick up, thank you so much for staying with us." JCPS has plans to develop a new digital reporting system for student behavior referrals. Behavior is just one of the driver complaints in addition to the new routes that began this school year. In Louisville, Ian Hardwitt, WHAS11, on your side.
Pretty amazing letter there. Well, there is no school in Louisville tomorrow because it is Election Day. The school buildings, as you know, become our polling places. So we're going to have to wait until Wednesday morning now to see what happens next.
A Bullitt County teen is in jail this afternoon, charged with attempted murder of a Mount Washington police officer. 18-year-old Kinsey Van Arsdale was arrested on Saturday after police say she hit an officer over the head with a screwdriver. It happened while they say she was resisting arrest. In this case, the officer is okay. It all started when he found the teen inside of the city's locked park and tried to question her. The teen is now being held at the Bullitt County Detention Center.
Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting in the Portland neighborhood. Officers headed to the shooting call at 8 this morning at 22nd and Bank. When they arrived, they say they found a man with severe gunshot wounds, and he later died at the hospital. Police say they have no suspects, and anyone with information is asked to call 574 LMPD.
Federal court is back in session in the trial of former LMPD officer Brett Hinkison, accused of civil rights violations on the night Breonna Taylor was killed.
Today, the prosecution continued its case, calling Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, to the stand, who talked about the night of the police raid. Walker is named as one of the key witnesses in this civil rights case. WHAS11's Alexis Jones has the testimony.
Trial continued Monday with an emotional testimony from Kenneth Walker, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. Walker broke down in tears in front of the jury as he relived the moments of LMPD's no-knock raid. Walker says the night before March 13th was like any other. He and his girlfriend Breonna Taylor grabbed a bite to eat, then drifted off to bed while watching a movie. Hours later, Walker says they heard 3 aggressive bangs at the door. Each time, he says, they asked who is it, but he says no one answered, causing him to grab his clothes, licensed handgun, and walk towards Taylor's bedroom door. Before walking down the hallway, Walker says the front door flew open, sounding like an explosion. He says he thought it was Taylor's ex-boyfriend breaking in. He fired towards the ground to scare them off. LMPD officers then returned several rounds. That's when Walker says he grabbed Taylor's hand, fell to the ground, hiding behind a nook in the wall. During the shooting, he says he heard Taylor screaming in pain, and once the gunfire stopped, she was unresponsive. Prosecutors showed images of Taylor's body after the raid, bringing Walker to tears. He says after the gunfire ended, he first called his mother, who told him to call 911 for help. Monday, prosecutors played the emotional call for the jury.
911, Operator Harris, where is their emergency? I don't know what happened. Somebody kicked in the door and shot my girlfriend.
Okay, where are you located?
I'm at 3003 Springfield Drive, apartment 4.
3003 Springfield Drive, apartment number 4.
Yes. Oh my God.
After speaking with dispatchers, Walker says he stepped outside to flag officers down, but quickly realized their guns were pointed at him. Defense attorney Stu Matthews then circled back to a point he made on the first day of trial, that Hankerson fired in response to the sound of a rifle. Walker responded saying there was no rifle in the apartment that night. Matthews also showed footage of Walker getting arrested. In the video, he told officers Taylor fired his gun. Walker admitted to saying that to stay alive, but he says he later told officers the truth to clear Taylor's name. Walker went on to share how heartbroken he's been since Taylor's death. He said he would trade anything, including his $2 million settlement, to bring her back. In Louisville, Alexis Jones, WHAS11 on your side.
So far in the case, we've heard from Breonna Taylor's sister and the former LMPD Detective Miles Cosgrove, who fired the shot that killed Breonna Taylor.
The prosecution still has more witness testimony in the coming days. This trial is expected to last 3 weeks.
Just a few minutes now, it's going to be dark outside. That's right, folks, for the first time during this hour newscast. Yet last Friday, of course, it was so much different. We changed the clocks, and it's been a big adjustment, I have to say. It happens every year. I don't know why we're always so surprised, but you're like, what happened to the sun?
It's a shock to the system when you walk out of work at 6 o'clock and it's almost pitch black out there. That's different.
And summertime. What happened to fall weather, Colleen?
I know. We have 80 degrees in that forecast this week, so we're switching it up. So sunset is at 5:39. You can already see that sun getting close to the horizon right now. Temperatures are in the 70s. Didn't get to the 80s today. That's to come. 75 at the airport right now, 73 in Bowman. It was a really pleasant day. I took my dog to the park. He was out on the long leash. It wasn't too unbearably cold out there. So if you're heading out for that evening stroll, we are already seeing dusk here by 6 p.m. Already going to see that light go away. Fully dark by 7 p.m., 69 degrees at that time. We will see those clouds build, but we'll stay mostly dry overnight tonight and tomorrow. A few sprinkles in that forecast. We are gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Noticeably windy out there, but the good thing about our area here across Kentuckiana, we are not under a fire risk, but over in Lexington, they are seeing some stronger wind gusts and some lower humidity. So tomorrow we'll see a few sprinkles, some building humidity out there, but the shower chances will really ramp up as we head towards later this week. So mostly dry tomorrow, a few scattered showers, beautiful sunshine and some heat on Wednesday before that front approaches, bringing us some scattered showers and some cooler temperatures. I'll time out the rain chances for your week ahead here coming up. Doug, Shay.
All right, Colleen, thank you very much. Well, the countdown is on. Election Day now just hours away. And for the candidates running for Kentucky governor, they are now making their final campaign stops, both visiting Louisville today, where voter turnout is expected to play a major role.
The race in Kentucky is getting national attention. The incumbent Democrat Andy Beshear up against the Republican challenger Daniel Cameron. Cameron hosted a news conference here at the Jefferson County Republican Party headquarters this afternoon in Jeffersontown. Cameron, of course, the Kentucky Attorney General, reiterated his call to put an end to President Joe Biden's influence on the state, saying Governor Andy Beshear and the president are one and the same. He was also joined on stage by prominent Republican state lawmakers, including GOP Representatives Jason Nemus and Kevin Bratcher, both of Louisville. Cameron says he has support from the General Assembly on his policies, including his plan to bounce back from learning loss.
Andy Beshear has no relationships with the legislature. And because of it, he can't get anything done for parents and grandparents who are concerned about the educational opportunities of their kids.
Cameron started the day with a news conference in northern Kentucky and will hold his final pre-election rally tonight in his hometown of Elizabethtown. Meantime, right here, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear spent much of the day in eastern Kentucky. This photo coming from his campaign account of his stop in Pikeville. Beshear is heading to Louisville later tonight, and the WHAS11 night team is going to be there for a full campaign report right here at 11.
Before you head to the polls tomorrow, make sure you are packing your valid form of identification. That could be a government-issued ID, a driver's license, or a passport. You are also allowed to bring scratch paper, sample ballots, and your cell phone with you into the polls.
WHAS 11 News is your election headquarters. It's your voice, your vote. Of course, you'll see first results appearing on WHAS 11 News at 6 tomorrow. And then join us for our live election special report 1 hour from 7 to 8. Also, extra analysis from our experts begins on all of our digital platforms live at 8 and 9 o'clock. And then make sure you join us here at 11 with the biggest team at night, the WHAS 11 night team. If it's a close race, you won't want to go to bed early. An exciting day. It's Election Day tomorrow. Well, we're also a year away from the national election for the new president. A new ABC News poll is showing a majority of Americans believe the country is heading in the wrong direction.
That poll also finding some voters would prefer to have Democratic and Republican nominees who aren't named Joe Biden or Donald Trump. ABC's Justin Finch has a closer look at the numbers from Washington.
President Biden in Delaware touting more than $16 billion in new infrastructure spending his administration secured for Amtrak.
Been fighting for this for a long time, to invest in Americans, not just America.
But the latest ABC News Ipsos poll shows 76% of Americans think the country is heading in the wrong direction.
Economy, 74% of Americans say it's very important to them personally. 69% say the same about inflation. Those are issues in our poll that tend to favor Republicans.
More polling from the New York Times and Siena College finds Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump, who now faces 91 felony charges, is outperforming Biden in battleground states Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, and Pennsylvania.
We need to put every dollar and every bit of energy into winning in November.
Trump appearing at the Florida Freedom Summit with several of his Republican primary opponents.
The brand of Republicans has become toxic, very difficult to attract people to the party. So Florida has shown the way forward for the Republican Party.
Meantime, Republicans who qualified for Wednesday's third debate in Miami, Florida, are preparing to make their cases to voters. Trump, once again, not attending. While the Biden campaign insists it's not worrying about polling and insists Biden will win re-election in 2024, the Trump campaign is praising former President Trump's rising numbers, saying it's building a state-level operation to win the Republican nomination and defeat Joe Biden. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
According to that poll, the economy and inflation seem to be the top two issues for Americans going into 2024.
74% of those polled say the economy is very important to them, while 69% say inflation is their top issue.